Nelson with Diesel Performance Podcast, and I am live at Lucas Oil Raceway for Ultimate Callout Challenge 2021. Guys, this is going to be a hell of a day. Not only is the dyno going, Tony Burkhart's just pulled up the last-minute hooker, made his first pass, 18 and change for horsepower, 19 and change for torque. We know he's going to put down at least one more run on there because we know he's going for a bigger number than that. While the dyno is running, they're also going to run side-by-side racing for ODSS. So we're actually going to see some legit racers. Yesterday was qualifying for the ODSS. Today they have qualified. They got their bracket set up. They're going to be actual heads-up racing going on essentially next to the dyno. So it's all in the same area. So if you're a spectator out here, this is guaranteed to be the best diesel show you're ever going to see. Drag race and dyno going on in the same view. You can see them at the same time. The track, they're already saying is going to be fast. It's sticky. It's not super humid. We got a little bit of cloud cover, so it's going to be nice and cool. We expect to see some nasty times out of the ODSS crew here today at Lucas Oil Raceway. As Tony continues to make a couple more passes, I'll be keeping you guys up to date on how those results come out. They get 20-minute intervals, so they load a competitor onto the dyno. They start the window, or they start the timer, and then you get 20 minutes to make as many or as few passes as you want. In the past, we've seen guys go up, make one pass, say that number's good enough, and pull it off. We've also seen guys, such as the Dirty Hooker Diesel crew, roll up there and blow up the engine. We're really hoping to see no catastrophes today, although I will say statistically, it's very likely that somebody is going to see tragedy on that Superflow dyno this afternoon. Stay tuned with us, guys. We got a whole lot more UCC 2021 action coming at you next. ODSS. Quick update, guys. ODSS is running their qualifiers this morning. Yesterday was test and tune for those boys. ODSS running their qualifiers this morning. I'm watching guys line up for heads-up racing as Tony Burkhart is getting ready to make his second pass on the dyno. This is absolutely awesome. I just want to give a huge shout out to the organizers, James Brendel, Chris Cyril, everybody involved with UCC and ODSS and everything involved. This is an absolutely great idea. The combined number for Tony is going to be what goes on the book. So UCC competitors, we add their horsepower and torque together to get a single number. That's their combined power number, and that is what they're competing with. So Tony is on the dyno, and I can see him on the far side of the racetrack while ODSS is lined up. Now, right as Tony was getting ready to get started on his second run, I grabbed the mic. We started recording. It looks like they're working out some details up there on the dyno. He's only got a few minutes left before he has to unstrap and get his truck off the dyno so Turbo Tom can get his truck on there and run his 20-minute lap. Keep in mind, there's a handful of UCC competitors who are also competing at ODSS. So they need to get their truck dynoed today and then go out and race in ODSS all day because they're in the points race for the championship. Don't know what happened with Tony. I do know he made one pass early in his 20-minute time. They started to rev up the truck. I don't believe they made a full pass. And then they have stopped, and I currently see all the orange shirts up there, the whole crew up there, unstrapping the Dirty Hooker diesel truck and getting him off. Turbo Tom is lined up next to be on the dyno. He needs to finish that and then get back in line so he can go race for ODSS. Should be a really interesting day. Right now, first two trucks out for ODSS, and I apologize, guys. I don't know the ODSS crew as well. Something happened. I think they just checked the track. It doesn't look like the track is down right now. So the ODSS guys are getting in there and getting lined up and getting ready to go make another couple of hits. At least that's what it looks like. I will keep you posted as things continue to progress here. All right, guys, quick update. Tony's truck did get a full pass in. Looks like he rolled off of the dyno after making 2104.7 horsepower and 2360.6 torque. That for right now is going to keep him way out front. Of course, he's the first competitor. I just want to say starting the day at 2,100 horsepower and 23 foot-pounds of torque is a real good way to start the day at UCC Day 2. Turbo Tom's up next. ODSS is racing. Guys, we're going to have lots of fun and lots of high-flying diesel action coming at you all day long. ODSS qualifying continuing to go. This is going to be an interesting day. So here is the final update. Actually, here is... God damn it, Justin. We'll restart this. I'll just keep it on this track. Okay, guys, I got to actually talk with somebody who, well, actually knows something. And they explained to me that ODSS has opened up a lot of qualifying passes. So guys got to come out yesterday and run qualifying passes. Today, run qualifying passes. They will be going into a ladder and then going through actual eliminations. So that's what all of the ODSS racing has been about up to this point. And I believe we have still some more. I think the ladder actually starts this afternoon. So as I fill you in with more details on that, we'll be keeping an eye out to see who makes it through, who's going to hold that top spot in the points race for the ODSS classes, which there is a small handful of classes. I think they got 4 classes out here today, which is awesome because they are the coolest and absolute fastest trucks that I have seen out in a long time. So really, really cool stuff. You guys want to make sure you jump online and check out these vehicles. These guys got some really cool shit, and they're running them hard and fast on the track. While I'm talking about this, I'm actually trying to buy some time. Turbo Tom is strapped to the dyno. I can see he is fully strapped. I've seen the wheels rolling, like I assume just getting wheel speed measured and getting everything lined up and dialed in, although I have not seen him start to spool up that truck, and I got to imagine the timer is ticking for him. He needs to get off of that dyno and get back over here into the lanes for ODSS qualifying so that he can make sure he is in the ladder in the points chase for his index class. With that being said, he also has some added pressure that Tony Burkhart put down 2,100 horsepower and 2,300 foot-pounds of torque right before he got strapped down on the dyno. So there's clearly some pressure on our competitors this year, and I would say some extra pressure on getting through this event all 3 days, not only safely, so you can have a truck at the end of the weekend instead of a pile of parts, but also actually winning. You know, we talked about it before. These guys are competitors. These guys want to go home with a trophy. These guys want to be the ultimate call-out challenge competitor. What will it take to get there? I think we'll only be able to determine that as we look back over the weekend after this is all said and done. I will keep you guys posted as soon as Turbo Tom makes a pass here. We will get some numbers out to you listeners. Hey, if you're thinking about making a post about your truck or would just like to ask some questions or maybe just talk to other diesel podcast nerds like yourself, and myself included, a great place to do that is over at our Facebook group. That's Fans of Diesel Performance Podcast. That's a really, really cool Facebook group. We have a very active community of people who ask questions without a bunch of people telling you to use the search bar, so you could actually get help from real-world experts, and also just a cool place to kind of come and hang out and talk about your truck a little bit. As promised, folks, Turbo Tom is on the dyno, starting to roll the wheels, seeing a little bit of smoke. I know he's going to be spooling up. He's got some massive turbos on this truck. Now, if you guys didn't know, Tom Burrell, or Turbo Tom, as he is known on YouTube and Instagram, has a really, really cool page where the whole build has been documented. So if you're wondering how did he put this truck together, what is a part of it, well, his social media channels are going to give you a ton of information about that. Now, I do know that he has a solid filled block from Freedom Diesel, running 88 GT55 compounds, at least for the dyno. He has a couple of S&S 12 millimeter stroker pumps, a huge set of injectors, basically garden hoses. This is his first time at UCC, but certainly not his first time competing. He's been around the industry for a hot minute. So it'll be quite interesting to see what he is able to get together here to get some nasty numbers up on this dyno pass. He's spooling up now, running hard. He's into the meat of the run. Waiting for some numbers to come back to us here in the media tower. We will find out shortly and keep you guys posted. Numbers are in. Turbo Tom, just over 2,000 horsepower, 2,700 foot-pounds of torque. Is that going to be enough to hit a combined number to put him in the first spot? He is only our second competitor on the dyno today. We expect the numbers to be right in this range and absolutely no lower, meaning that 2,021 horsepower, that's our entry-level trucks. There are some guys here who I know for a fact are looking to run down Derek Rose in that combined number on the dyno today. I think Turbo Tom has a little bit more time. Not sure if he's going to make a second pass at this. As the numbers become official, we will keep you guys posted. Thank you for joining us, Diesel Performance Podcast listeners. You know this is Paul Wilson, and you know that I am live at Ultimate Callout Challenge 2021 presented by AMSOIL. Turbo Tom, one and done on the dyno, and he snuck right into first place. Guys, there's only been two passes on only been two competitors on the dyno. Tyler Burkhart came up there, put up some nasty numbers. Turbo Tom, 2090.7 horsepower, 2789.7 torque. That was enough to push him up into that top spot. Now, Tony Burkhart made two passes. First one was 1867. Second was 1961. And then he came back and put up that 2104.7 and 2360. It is proving to be a very tough day on the let's rerun that. It is proving to be a very fruitful day to get out on this dyno, make a limited number of passes. You don't want to be there all day. You don't want to use all 20 minutes making several high horsepower passes. You want to get in there, at the most do a shakedown, hit that big number, and get off of those rollers. As this is happening, I'm looking up, and unfortunately I saw Deutsch's truck run down the track, lost a front passenger tire, wrapped a front passenger tire. I'm not exactly sure what happened, but there is now a truck on the track with three wheels. We'll check back with the ODSS driver a little bit later this afternoon to find out what happened there. Next up on the dyno, Ryan Batts out of Texas. He's been in the industry probably a little bit shorter time than a lot of the other competitors there, but he's making big swings. He's got that SoCal Duramax LB7 motor, got a 48 RE trans, S400, 500 compound turbos, single 12 mil pump. Don't know his injectors, but I hope he's got plenty of fuel. We know that to be in the top spot, you're going to have to be over that 2,000 horsepower mark. Now, Ryan put up some tough times yesterday at the track. Started off with a 6.190, ran that back-to-back for two passes, squeezed out a 6.028, a 6.160, a 7.5, and a 6.084. So he made six full power passes down the track yesterday. That wasn't enough to land him in first. He's a little bit light on the times to get all the way down there, but right now he is sitting in 12th place, which is pretty impressive. So as he lines up on the dyno, we'll see what Batts is able to do with that LB7 and see if he's going to be able to keep himself or push himself up into the top 10 at the very least. Here we go. Ryan Batts spooling up. Quick run on the dyno. These are small sweeps. I will say that. I'm watching these guys spool from here, make a quick hit on the dyno, and now I see somebody crawling out of the passenger seat, which was surprising. We'll have to wait for those numbers to come in to see what he was able to put down. Guys, if you have never seen an ODSS race, you are missing out. Just plain and simple. These are some of the wildest modified trucks running some of the fastest times in the country with a diesel truck, with a diesel engine, I should say, because they're not even all trucks anymore. We got some Corvettes, some Chevelles, some Rat Rods. I think I'm looking at a mid-engine S10 right now, and it's awesome. So if you haven't checked out ODSS events in your area, definitely you're going to want to jump online and find out where are they racing, where can you see it. You're going to want to go. You're going to want to hear these trucks run. You're going to want to see this. No question about it in my mind at all. All right, guys. Well, as Ryan Batts' numbers come in, he figures out that run on the dyno. I am getting to watch the rails actually start their races here. Looks like we have the industrial injection let me correct that. We have the Shides rail out, mechanically injected. compound turbocharge. If you've never seen it before, get online right now. Stop listening to the podcast. Get online right now and go look it up, because him and the Holly Rock rail, which we all know Mike Graves and Holly Rock Customs, I asked Mike yesterday off mic, hey, do you miss competing? And what he said was, man, I'm really here. Love to see my daughter driving, love to see my wife driving, want the family to get out and get racing. I'd rather build the vehicles, and that's what they're doing. So right now, getting ready to see this Shides rail run down the track. No question, it's going to be fast. Spooling, staging, single bulb. He's got to bump into the double bulb before the tree will drop. There it is, double bulb. Tree drops. He's gone. Down the track like lightning. 4:15. Oh, that is cooking. 4:15 in a rail. Guys, that is, if you've never seen it, again, get out to an event. Go check it out. It is going to blow your mind. I don't know if words are enough to really understand how violent, how fast, how much power that actually looks like on the track. Stay tuned. I believe they're going to run the Holly Rock rail with Mike Graves' daughter, I believe, piloting the race machine. And Ryan Batts still on the dyno. Not sure if he's coming off without a number or if we're going to get some updates there on his attempted run. Holly Rock Custom Dragsters getting through the burnout box. They had some mechanical issues yesterday, working out some details. Got to hear them talking a little bit about the engineering behind it. Now, this is one of the few, if not only, Duramax powered dragsters out there in the industry. I believe there might be one or two others floating around there, but this one, I will say, it is here at UCC. It is looking nasty, and I know the young Miss Graves is going to do a great job piloting this thing down the track, hoping to put out some really exciting times here today. Here it is. Numbers are in. Official for Ryan Batts. He's made 2 runs so far. Not exactly moved in the right direction. He's kind of hanging out right here. 1,396.8 horsepower, 2,385 on the torque for his first run. Second run came in 5 horsepower less. He's 1,381.7. And just a little bit less torque, 2338.6. He's got a little bit more time on the dyno. They got the hood up. I think they're going to tinker with a few things, see what's going on. Again, you're going to need to be at 4,000 combined to be in the top 5. But I think for Batts, if he could push himself into the top 10 here today, that puts him in a real good spot to try to be competitive out on the dyno. While this is going on, Holly Rock's lined up down the track. Here she goes. Through the line, it looks quick. I don't know if it's going to be quicker than the Shides rail. 490, I believe, was the number. That is cooking. Hey, you don't got to beat Shides, honestly. When you're out here with this rail, you got it right. You got down the track. I know the Graves family is going to be happy about that. Great job, guys. All right, guys, I think Ryan Batts is going to call it good. He is expired his time. He made 2 passes that I have record of. There may have been a third one in there. Hard to tell. But I believe he is going to be sitting at 1396, 2385. Hey, it's a damn good number. A whole lot better than my BMW ever made. But this LB7, I think, is off the dyno. Currently sitting in third place, but I feel very confident that there are going to be some other competitors that push him a little bit further down that list. Great job to Ryan Batts. Love seeing an LB7 coming out here competing and making a big show in a big way. Great job. Wade Minter out of Texas is up next on the dyno. Now, guys, you know we've talked to Wade a handful of times. He's been to UCC several times. He's taken 3rd place overall in 2017, 5th place in 2019. Hey, he was even here out in 2018. He's a competitor. And when I say a competitor, I mean he's a privateer who's out here for passion and for pride. That's it. The payoffs that pay out will never be enough to recoup the investment he's had into his truck. He is doing this for the love of it. He is doing this because it's exciting, because it's an absolute blast. And we know that when you see Wade Minter on the dyno, we're going to see something cool happen. And that's just all there is to it. As I'm looking through his current results, he is sitting in 5th place after the drag racing portion of the competition. He made 3 passes yesterday, a 5.650, a 5.502, which was his best, and then a 5.906. He's currently strapped down to the dyno. The unique thing about the UCC dyno competition is you as the driver, you and your team are in charge of everything. You have to decide where you want the truck on the rollers. You have to decide where you want them to put the straps. How tight do you want to drop that ass end down? How far do you want it to let it sit on that front roller, sit on that back roller? All of these things are going to play in to how the dyno's actually going to read your numbers out. Now, one of the big things we've heard guys talk about in all the years of UCC is wheel spin. So if you strap the truck down incorrectly, you're going to get more wheel spin, meaning your dyno is not going to record an accurate amount of power. Levon had talked years back, even when he won the dyno portion of the competition, that he flat out knew he had wheel spin on the dyno. And that cost him horsepower. No, it didn't cost him enough horsepower to give up first place because he's Levon Miller. But Wade Minter is somebody who has already studied this, already looked at this. His team and his crew, a part of SoCal Diesel, the Truck Source Diesel guys, all the people that came together that help him go out and compete at such a high level, they're all here weighing in and giving him their insights over what's going to get you the best results possible. We're really excited to see it, and guys, don't worry, stick with us. I'll be right back to let you know how Wade Minter does on his dyno pass at UCC 2021. All right, guys, Wade Minter, we knew he was a stout competitor with that SoCal-built Duramax. Loving all the help that he's getting from the boys at Truck Source Diesel and all of his other vendors. Here he is, 2,065 horsepower, 2,756 foot-pounds of torque. That is going to make him a solid competitor, no question about it. Stay tuned. Next up is going to be, I'm looking for it right now, guys. Looks like Justin Andres should be a really interesting run here on the dyno. Justin Andres on the dyno now. Looks like he's spooling up, going to give it a hard hit. There it is, 2,220 horsepower, 3404 on the torque. That is a massive number. I do not know if he will need to actually run again. Great job to Justin Andres. We'll see where that sets you overall in the finish. All right, next up we have Chris Buhider. Chris, of course, from Truck Source Diesel, part of that team coming out of Texas. Him and Wade Minter, we know, are good friends. They, of course, always out there racing together. We talked to Chris beforehand. Too nice of a guy to call anybody out, but he did tell us that he'd be happy with some solid numbers north of 2,000 horsepower. Let's see what he can put together today. And there it is, 2,463 horsepower, 2,996 foot-pounds of torque. That is a solid finish. Congratulations, Chris Buhider. Chris Buhider had a couple of early passes. Looked like he was kind of stepping up as he was going there. So we see him come out. The first thing he hit was a 2,050 with 3,383 on the torque. Solid number. Could have been happy with that, but decided he wanted to push it a little bit further. So he went for pass number 2. That landed him at 2,437. Amazing horsepower number. And 2,854 foot-pounds of torque. Honestly, guys, when he hit that, I thought he would get off the rollers. That was a phenomenal number, but he decided to give it one more and land himself with that 2463, 2996. That's a hell of a number for UCC 2021. Kenny Bruner getting on the rollers now. Kenny's got a really solid truck, very strong showing here at UCC. I know this is a truck that a lot of fans are excited about. Definitely want to see what he's going to be able to put together on the rollers today. Now, Kenny was out racing yesterday, and at the drag strip, he ended with a final of the 5.563, which put him in the middle top of the pack. It's a really good time, guys. Don't let me downplay it here. It's a really, really solid time. Now that he's lining up, getting ready to make his first pull. There it is, 1753, 2724 foot-pounds of torque. One run. Let's see if he's done after that. All right, guys, Kenny Bruner's calling it. They're going to take an hour break for lunch. We're going to do a quick rundown of the current standings with points. Now, keep in mind, you may have been the fastest on the track. You may have been the highest at the dyno, but it's all about how many points you get for each one of these competitions. That's going to total up to your overall score. And that overall score, of course, is going to let us pick a winner. So here we go. Current standings. Now, we've only dynoed a handful of the trucks here, so this is going to change, or has the potential to change pretty rapidly once they open the dyno back up. Chris Buhider sitting out in first, driver number 5. Turbo Tom, driver number 19, holding down second place. Justin Andres is currently in third. Tony Burkhart is currently in fourth place. And Wade Minter in fifth, with Kenny Bruner in sixth and Ryan Batts in seventh. After the break, we're going to get the rest of these trucks dyno and see how that order changes up for the afternoon. Stay tuned with us. We got more UCC 2021 action coming at you.